Is quickly growing in usage and in function, and the new Trump administration is taking a new approach to the powerful technology. President Trump signing an executive order on artificial intelligence that will revoke past government policies his order says act as barriers to American AI innovation.
Donald Trump just unveiled his new AI agenda, but if you're expecting guardrails on deepfakes, job automation, or rogue algorithms, don't hold your breath. Because this isn't about AI safety, it's about control, culture, and taking aim at the same villains Trump's been calling out since 2016, big tech and woke Silicon Valley. This isn't a policy pitch, it's a political weapon. And if you think AI was already messy, you haven't seen what it looks like when it's pulled into a full-blown culture war. Let's not pretend this is new territory. Trump has been locked in a years-long feud with big tech. Google, Facebook, Twitter, pre-Musk, you name it. He's accused them of bias, censorship, and collusion with Democrats. He's called them the real opposition party. And he's made Silicon Valley one of the primary enemies in his populist narrative. Now, AI is the latest battlefield, and here's the key. Trump isn't coming at it from the angle most world leaders are, concern over job losses, disinformation, or algorithmic risk. He's using AI to double down on the idea that tech companies are silencing conservatives, shaping public opinion, and rigging elections. At a recent rally in Arizona, Trump told supporters that AI is just another tool for the radical left to control what you think. He claimed big tech is already building systems that are biased against patriots, Christians, and conservatives. And now he's promising that if re-elected, his administration will launch an AI oversight initiative focused on protecting free speech, American values, and election integrity. Sounds noble until you realize what it really means. The proposed policy doesn't talk about model transparency or algorithmic accountability. It talks about auditing AI companies for ideological bias, punishing platforms that suppress conservative voices, and pushing federal funding toward developers who promise to uphold American values. In other words, Trump's not trying to regulate AI for safety, he's trying to weaponize it in his ongoing war with tech. And California's innovation pipeline? Directly in the line of fire. So let's get specific. What exactly is Trump proposing under this so-called AI plan? At first glance, the language sounds pretty standard. He talks about protecting jobs, defending democracy, and keeping America competitive. But underneath that, it's a familiar playbook dressed up in tech terminology. According to the latest campaign memos and policy briefs circulating through conservative media outlets, Trump's plan includes 5 key moves. A federal commission to investigate political bias in AI systems, especially those developed by companies like OpenAI, Google DeepMind, and Anthropic. Regulatory penalties for companies found to be systematically disadvantaging Americans based on their beliefs. Incentives and grants for AI companies that commit to free speech frameworks. New executive powers to restrict access to federal data for any platform or AI model deemed politically hostile. And possibly the most aggressive, a Trump-aligned certification system that labels AI tools as Patriot Suit or American Values Approved. Let that last one sink in. It's like a digital loyalty badge, and it's designed to scare companies into self-censoring or tailoring outputs that won't trigger right-wing backlash. Now here's the kicker. This isn't being pitched as a fringe idea. At CPAC and Turning Point USA events, this rhetoric is front and center. Conservative influencers are already demanding an unbiased ChatGPT and calling for Elon Musk to lead a Patriot AI alternative. So while Biden's White House is focused on AI governance through risk frameworks, ethics boards, and international agreements, Trump's promising a loyalty test. And in today's hyper-partisan environment, that might be exactly what some voters want to hear. Let's break this down for what it really is. Trump's AI policy is not about artificial intelligence, it's about identity politics. This is classic Trump strategy. Take something complex, something the average voter isn't really following, like AI, and simplify it into an us versus them issue. In this case, patriots versus big tech. In the past, Trump turned immigration into a border war, COVID into a battle over freedom, and education into a fight about indoctrination. Now AI is the next battlefield, and the enemy is woke algorithms. His messaging is sharp. He says AI is being used to rewrite history books, to censor truth tellers, to manipulate elections by pushing radical left propaganda. Whether or not those claims hold up under scrutiny isn't the point. The feeling of being silenced or erased, that's the fuel for this fight. So when Trump says he's going to protect American values in AI, he's not talking about ethical development standards. He's talking about winning the narrative war, making sure conservative viewpoints don't get buried under digital moderation filters, demanding that chatbots echo Fox News, not NPR. And here's why it works. AI is everywhere now, from Google searches to Instagram ads to TikTok algorithms. It shapes what we see, what we hear, and what we believe. By turning it into a culture war issue, Trump's doing what he does best, making tech feel like politics and politics feel like survival. The deeper message? If you don't control the algorithms, you're letting your enemies control the truth. And that's a pitch that lands hard in a country where trust in media, government, and tech is already shot to hell. Trump knows exactly where to aim, and it's straight at Silicon Valley's soft underbelly. For years, the tech industry has sold itself as politically neutral, innovation-focused, and globally minded. But to Trump and his base, it's ground zero for woke capitalism. And now, with AI front and center, he's seizing the chance to recast tech as a cultural enemy, not just an economic powerhouse. In this narrative, companies like Google, Meta, and OpenAI aren't just building tools, they're programming ideology. Their algorithms decide what content spreads, which voices get amplified, and what's flagged as misinformation. That power, in Trump's view, is more dangerous than any biased newsroom or cable channel. And he's not alone in that thinking. High-profile conservatives like Sen. J.D. Vance and Gov. Ron DeSantis have echoed these warnings. They've accused tech giants of rigging information ecosystems, silencing dissent, and building AI models that are hostile to faith, tradition, and nationalism. Let's cut through the noise. Trump's new AI agenda isn't just some niche campaign promise. It could reshape the entire conversation around tech regulation, political speech, and the future of AI in the US. First, the tech sector is now on notice. The traditional regulatory focus, antitrust, privacy, data use, is being overtaken by ideological scrutiny. AI developers will be asked not just is your model safe, but is your model politically neutral? And in this environment, neutral often means non-threatening to Trump's base. This is a dangerous shift, because once AI is treated like a political actor, free speech and software regulation collide. Do you regulate outputs like you do campaign ads? Do you penalize companies for suppressing certain responses, even if those responses are flagged for misinformation or hate speech? Suddenly, AI safety debates turn into First Amendment minefields. And for the rest of us, it means the platforms we use every day, the AI tools we ask questions, search engines we rely on, the feeds that shape our worldview, could become politicized by design. That's not theoretical. That's real, and it's already started. So here's the real question. Is Trump's AI crackdown actually about protecting free speech or just controlling the narrative? Because let's be honest, this isn't a debate over model architecture. It's not about neural nets or training data. It's about power. It's about who gets to shape public opinion. And what happens when one political movement decides the future of technology should run through its own worldview. If you're in tech, this is a wake-up call. The regulatory pressure is no longer just about privacy or safety, It's about whether your product fits the political moment. If you're building AI right now, you're no longer just shipping code. You're stepping into a culture war. And if you're a voter, you've got to ask yourself, do we really want the future of AI dictated by whichever side wins the next election? Because once you politicize the codebase, there's no going back. Today, it's about bias against conservatives. Tomorrow, it could be bias against progressives. Then what? Let's get real. We need guardrails, we need transparency, we need accountability, but we also need to keep the culture war out of the code. Once politicians turn AI into a loyalty test, everyone loses, except the people who benefit from keeping us angry, divided, and distracted. So where do you stand on this? Is Trump calling out a real problem or inventing one? Is AI regulation about protecting freedom or weaponizing fear? Drop your take in the comments, because the future of tech isn't just about machines, it's about how we choose to use them. Trump's AI policy isn't about innovation. It's not about safety. It's about leverage, cultural, political, and ideological. It reframes artificial intelligence not as a tool for progress, but as a threat to identity, a weapon of control wielded by the wrong hands. By turning AI into a battleground for free speech and American values, Trump has reignited his war with tech under a shiny new banner. And the fallout? It could reshape how companies build products, how speech is moderated online, and how future administrations approach AI governance. Whether you think this is bold leadership or a dangerous distraction, one thing's certain: AI just became a frontline issue in the culture war. And that's going to affect way more than just Silicon Valley. It's going to shape how all of us interact with truth, power, and each other in the digital age.